Okay, so I'll vamonos. Well, that's wrong. I'm going to take my leave. And
Then it is them.
Well, welcome Kevin Connolly and Bailey Brackett. We appreciate you coming to our virtual open house tonight for the Springfield College Physical Education, Health Education Department. Pleased to introduce one of the co-chairs for the Department of Physical Education, Health Education, Dr. Ted France. And I'm an assistant professor within the department as well. Just a very quick overview before I allow you to introduce yourself. We're gonna really use the two students to kind of share their experiences about the program and our physical education curriculum, in the hopes that it will shed a little bit of light about who and what Springfield College physical education is all about. Before I turn it over and let Dr. France introduce himself, I always find at these that it's very important for people to understand what the mission of Springfield College is. And when you hear our mission and then you hear the faculty and our students talk, I think you'll see that we truly live our mission. So the mission of Springfield College is to educate the whole person in spirit, mind, and body for leadership in service to others. And what I love about our mission is not only is it the whole person in spirit, mind, and body, but it's also for leadership positions that are servicing others. I spent a large portion of time as a public physical education teacher, and now I'm teaching future phys ed teachers to go and lead others. So I love what I do, and I know our faculty also loves not only the college, but what we do. So Dr. France, if you would introduce yourself and we'll get moving.
Thanks, Dr. Grosha. My name's Ted France. How are you? And thanks to Bailey and Kevin for being here with us. I think Steve hit the nail on the head. I've been a professor at Springfield for 27 years. I also serve as a co-chair of the department, and currently am the faculty senate president for the institution. And I think what's key about that mission, that introduction that Steve gave, was the idea that we are educating students in spirit, mind, and body for leadership and service to others. That should shed some light on how we approach educating our teachers here at Springfield. It's not this routinized, mechanized process, that we see the role of teacher as leader in their community, leader in their schools. It should be immersed in all areas of the community. So, I think as you get to know us and get to know our students and our program, I hope that comes through in everything that you see. So thanks for being here. And I'll turn it over to, how about these two? What do you think about our mission?
Do you want to go first?
Yeah, all right, I guess I'm throwing on the bus here. But so hi, I'm Kevin Connolly. I am currently a sophomore at Springfield College. I am from Westchester County, New York. And I'm majoring in physical education, health education. And as our mission goes, it really captures the whole person, as Dr. Grosha and Dr. France were saying. Spirit, mind, and body. Here is just being here on campus. You can really see the philosophy being lived out every single day, with whether it's student-led classes with teaching lessons, or you have athletics nonstop, everyone taking leadership roles, clubs, intramurals, varsity athletics, everyone's involved. And also leadership is huge here. Whether participating in NSO, like you have your community, you help out in the community. It was different, I know, this year due to COVID-19, but you have the student ambassadors who dedicate their time to take you around campus, as well as all the other clubs and organizations that are run here to help out students or faculty. And I just think it's we have a great mission here at Springfield College.
Okay. Hi, I'm Bailey Brackett. I am also a major in the physical and health education program. I am from Waterford, Connecticut. I love Springfield College. Like, it was my first choice from the start. Wouldn't have picked a different school. My brother and sister are currently freshmen at Springfield College, and my whole family loves it. Like, the atmosphere is honestly something that I've never experienced going on any other campus. Like, I remember first time I even stepped foot on campus, complete stranger held the door for me. Like, I've just never experienced that on any other campus. Everybody made sure that your questions were answered, that, you know, you were comfortable on campus. Like, everybody makes sure that you are set, you know what you're doing. If you don't know where you're going, somebody's always there to direct you in the right direction. Honestly, it's honestly the best school, to be honest. Like, I just have no other words for that. Everybody's involved in something too, just like Kevin said, whether you're working on campus, you're in a club, one of our hundreds of clubs that we have, doing sports, pretty much anything you can find somebody else is a part of too. And it's a great way to meet new people and put yourself out there, and there's definitely something that for everybody out there.
Awesome. Well, thanks everyone for introducing yourself. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask Bailey and Kevin to kind of just give a brief overview of some of the courses that they've taken that are physical education related, and talk about some of the experiences that you've had. So Kevin, I'm going to start with you as a current sophomore. Can you talk about the instructional strategies course you took as a freshman?
Yeah, so instructional strategies, I was fortunate enough to take it in the fall semester. So we had no interruptions with COVID or anything. And it was really the first couple of weeks, it was just like throwing you into the classroom and seeing what you can do. And I honestly thought that was amazing. First year teaching one-on-one with the student, you don't see that many other campuses. From New York, like I said, I went and toured a couple of schools. They're like, yeah, you don't get out to your junior year. No, not here. You're out in the classroom. First year, you're learning how to develop and structure lesson plans for a half-hour student teaching one-on-one. You learn the basic locomotor skills to teach students, and really assessments, how you assess the students, as well as writing learning objectives that you want to complete in your lessons. And yeah, I think it was just really eye-opening to see, is phys ed really what I want to do in the future? And for me, it was yes. That was the green light to go.
And what are you currently taking now that would be like the next level as a sophomore?
So I am currently in Dr. Boyd's 6 through 12 modules, which is secondary education. Sorry, not modules, just secondary pre-practicum, I believe it is. And right now we're learning on different ways to write lesson plans, like a block plan, sport education model, and a lot of different things. Unfortunately, we have no students to teach. We do have an opportunity for some of us to go into the homeschool program, which Dr. Grosher will get into later. But yeah, it's just really eye-opening to see all the different strategies and build a structure for the future of how to teach.
Awesome. And Bailey, can you talk about what you did as a junior in physical education based courses?
So junior year, if you're both physical and health education, you also do your health pre-practicum. So they normally put you in either a middle school or a high school, and you go out there and you're forming lesson plans and implementing these lesson plans with actual students, like you would be doing for your sophomore year PE pre-practicums. And then you also take adapted physical education, where you're kind of going back and working one-on-one with a student, but it's in a different environment and the circumstances are kind of different because you have to learn how to adapt your lesson plans to fit the needs of the students. And you get all of the tools, all of the materials that you need from your professor from that class, which is really great, and it makes the class a whole lot easier. And I thought that it was really fun. Unfortunately, I got cut short due to COVID and we had to come home, so it was kind of a bummer. But at the time that I spent at the school, I enjoyed working with my students. I formed relationships with both of my students that I had, and it was overall a great experience. And then you also take assessment, which that's when you go to the homeschool program. That's every Friday, and Dr. Grosha will talk more about that in a second. But you assess these kids on like their skills, and then you compare them to either the Massachusetts standards or national standards. And I thought that it was a really great experience too, because even though you weren't teaching these kids, you were still forming relationships with them by saying, how far can you jump from me? Or everything was turning into a little game, which was really fun because they thought that it was, you know, playtime away from PE, which was even cooler. So it was a really fun class too.
And what are you currently doing?
I am currently doing my practicum, full-time PE and part-time health at a middle school in East Longmeadow. And it's all online, and it's definitely different, but it's a fun different. Very fun.
Wow. So the experiences that you are sharing, first and foremost, for the most part, minus, you know, a couple of COVID-related incidences, are all involving other people and are, what I'm going to say, are like real life experiences. And if you were listening carefully, you heard from Kevin talk about a one-on-one in his first year, and then moving into a smaller group of students, but developmentally appropriately working in a skill set. And I'm sure, Kevin, you're probably going to go into your elementary grades in the spring semester. Is that correct?
Yes, correct.
So we try to be very intentional with the methodologies that we're using and the experiences that we are providing to our students to help them grow. And as they grow and get more confident, they hopefully can be exposed to more students in a truer physical education type setting. I have two things that I heard from them that I want to bring up. And the first was the homeschool program. And our homeschool program is, I want to say, in its 8th year running. And the homeschool program is really a physical education program that is serving Western Massachusetts. Any parent or family that is homeschooling their children has the opportunity for a pretty nominal fee to participate in our program. We have access to a field house and some really nice turf and grass field space that we have to use, as well as our own equipment. And the homeschool is typically staffed by students in their sophomore year with their professors overseeing them. So their course in their laboratory setting is part of their class is the homeschool program. In a normal year, we average close to anywhere from 75 to 90 students that are coming in. This year, a proposal that was written was accepted by our administration, and we are allowing this program to run. We currently have capped it at 40 children, and everything is being done outdoors, weather permitted. But our administration felt that these experiences and the procedures and protocols that were put into the proposal warranted allowing these students to become part of our community. So everyone's in masks. It's a really unique experience, not only for our student teachers, but for the children, so that they can continue to grow and develop and receive some physical education as part of their curriculum. And we also have the opportunity to use that program to help people like Bailey or students that are in their junior year that have extra time to gain more experience. And so to have that like real life laboratory physical education setting on your campus once a week is absolutely amazing. And I'm working currently with one of our health education professors, and she is hoping to maybe even bring this group back on campus another day and do 1 day of health and 1 day of physical education. So, you know, some bigger universities, it's called like a lab school. I don't think we're there yet, but we have, you know, a living program that that provides us true, authentic teaching experiences, and it's a great experience. As I said, that it's a nominal fee, and that money goes to our PE Majors Club, or PE and Health Education Majors Club. That money has been used to take undergraduate students to our state conferences and our national conference. I believe it was 2 years ago. We took 9 students to Tampa, Florida for 4 days and 3 nights. One of those students won the National Teacher of the Year, Undergrad Teacher of the Year for, I'm not sure if it was by state or if it was, but Rachel Tavares. So we're known, we're out there, and we're active. Dr. France, I had a question for you in terms of what you teach for undergrad and how that kind of fits into our curriculum.
So currently, while I've taught in the method sequence, those modules, and a host of other courses, right now my primary course is motor learning, which is a class that explores how the brain and body work together, and how all of the things that these students are learning in their methods classes intentionally connect to how we know the brain and body work. So when we talk about, Dr. Grosh and I were just talking earlier, you know, we tell these students, watch this, how many skill cues should you give a student?
Kevin, you go first.
I haven't taken motor learning.
Oh,
yet,
yeah,
but
Doesn't matter. How many do I have you
Alright.
write in instructional strategies?
3, I believe.
There you go. And Bailey, you said the same thing, 3. Well, we know that there's only
Kevin.
yeah, nice job.
Let's
We
dig
know
deep
that
for that one.
the thing that we know about the brain and attentional focus and attentional capacity is that we can only handle so much information, right? So because we know that the brain has this attentional capacity, we know that we shouldn't use more than 3 skill cues because it's just going to be too much information. Well, that's connecting what you're doing in teaching with what we know about neuroscience. So the whole class is based on helping students make the connection to know that you're not just teaching to teach, you're teaching to learn. You're teaching for people to learn. And in order for you to teach for people to learn, you better understand how the brain and body work together. So that's sort of my class in a nutshell, Steve.
Awesome. Kevin and Bailey, can either of you talk about some campus life, specifically like maybe athletics or campus recreation, intramurals?
Yeah, I can talk about campus rec.
Okay.
Back when I was at Springfield, I actually did a work study, and part of my work study was, like Dr. Grosha said, doing homeschool, and then the other part was working at the rock wall, which was by far the coolest thing ever. I was like belaying 200-pound football players, and everybody was just having a good time. And there's 2 floors on the wellness center full of equipment for you to use. It's all like a couple years old. It can't be more than 5 years old. And everybody goes, I mean, the athletes have their own, I'm pretty sure that they're still using right now. And it's never really like fully packed. And they offer a lot of like classes for you to take. I know I took like a glow spin class and a yoga class, which is really fun because it's just something different to work out, and it's for all different levels too. Like you don't have to be an expert at yoga in order to take these classes. Like I am by far no expert at yoga.
Are
But
they
it was,
free?
yes, they're all free. You walk in there and you can get even a punch card. And I think if you do like 20 classes, then you get entered into like this raffle that they host every month or every 2 months. And it's just a really cool way to meet different people. So I thought that it was very fun and very entertaining.
Awesome. Kev, you play rugby, don't you?
Yes, so I am currently on the club rugby men's team here. For when we had our season, it was in the fall, and we were planning on a tournament in the spring. But unfortunately that was canceled. But it's not as intense as the varsity sport, or it's not as much as big as commitment. So we had practice 3 to 4 times a week, along with 1 game over the weekend. We traveled as far as St. Anthony's, Vermont, which is about a 4 or 5 hour bus ride. But we had a great time. As for, I could talk as for intramurals as well. I played a couple as well. Some can get very competitive. Some could be laid back. They have men's, women's, and co-rec leagues. So make your team with a bunch of friends from your floor, from around campus, and just really have a good time. They have, off the top of my head, I could think of basketball, soccer, flag football, spike ball,
Floor hockey.
floor hockey, yes. Volleyball is a huge one, and I'm trying to think. Maybe badminton. I'm not sure, but just throwing it out there. But they
Bowling?
do have bowling,
Yeah.
so it's a great way to get involved and meet new people.
Cool.
Stay active as well.
Any information on like dining options on campus?
Bailey, you want me to take this one since I'm currently still in the dining plan?
Sure.
All right. So as a sophomore, freshmen usually get most meals on campus as well as sophomore, and they have the 2 dining plans, which is the 224 block plan, I believe, which is basically, if you count out all the days, you have 2 swipes a day in Cheney dining hall. And then if you have all access, go as many times as you would like. From past years, so last year, obviously my first year as a freshman, I thought it was pretty good, but it's got even better. They changed their dining service, I believe, from Aramark or to Harvest Table, and you can really see a significant impact in the food, the quality, the serving size, the overall taste is fantastic. They recently just upgraded the dining hall as well, and it looks awesome. They have it's not open yet, but it is going to be open, is a smoothie bar. They have a place for you to get a bunch of cereals the whole time it's open, fruit, salad bar, sandwich bar, grill, your True Balance station, which is your healthy option. They have a vegan station. They have the main course of the night, and everything's also posted on their website. So you can go before, say you want to go to dinner, and you can see what all the options they have. So maybe if you don't like what they have for dinner, you can use your dining dollars and head over to the Union. And they have Subway, Mexican food, sushi, pasta bowls. Pasta bowls are really good.
Dunkin'.
Dunkin' Donuts, can't forget, get your morning coffee. So, and the pod they have as well, as you can get food. It's like a little supermarket or gas station, I guess.
Awesome. So I guess my last question for Dr. France would be, what can you tell us about the new general education curriculum?
So general education, we are in our first semester implementing a new general education curriculum. And for those of you that don't know, it's actually called a core curriculum now. And the difference is our old curriculum, a student would just pick a class from different areas. So one class in, they might in spiritual well-being or spirituality and religion, another math class, a natural science class. And the courses were they weren't connected in any way. The intent of the new core curriculum is to sort of build a progressive experience. You've heard a lot of discussion today from Dr. Grosha and the students about how intentional we are with our physical education, health education curriculum. We have first-year classes, second-year classes, third-year classes. They build on each other and culminate in this student teaching experience where it all comes together. That's what a good curriculum should do. And that's what we're hoping the core will do now. There's a first-year seminar class that all first-year students will take. Then they go into their sophomore and junior year where there's a little more flexibility. And then it culminates in some type of capstone experience, which in our case, people, it's really going to probably be connected to student teaching for us or field work in their fourth year. So a lot of people are excited about it. I think it brings a level of intentionality that we've had in our physical education program, in our intentional design, but it's also, it's exciting, because again, we're talking about educating leaders in service to others. And we do, I think that's where, while students will always use their discipline as a lens, that lens should be examining as many different areas in society as possible, whether it's spiritual well-being, intellectual well-being, those types of things. So it's exciting that our undergraduate physical education majors have that opportunity.
Thank you. Well, before we wrap up the program, so there are some next steps that should be taken by someone. So if you haven't applied yet, I would recommend applying. I think Bailey and Kevin have expressed, even in the leadoff, why SC, why one would go about picking SC, and hopefully our discussion of our courses and life on campus would help cement and solidify what they said just right off from the get-go. If you have already applied, I hope you wait for that acceptance letter, and then typically in February we will have an accepted students open house. And under normal circumstances, that's all I can speak for, we will have you on campus. You'll see my face again, and we will take you through really a day in the life of a PE major on campus. So you'll attend a class or two, you'll see our homeschool program in action, you'll get a tour, you'll have a nice lunch, and you'll learn a little bit more about admissions and some of the dollars and cents, if you will, of how it all plays out. If that day doesn't work for you, we also have another accepted student open house in April. And then you would be coming to an orientation in June, and then we will see you next August or September. So that's how I'm hoping it's going to play out for you. Any final thoughts, questions, statements from my willing participants? Ted, you want to wrap us up?
I'll try, and I'll be quick. You should know better than to give the full professor an open mic and no time frame, right? But I'll be brief and say, you know, I encourage you to explore as many physical education programs as possible. Get out there, visit other schools, and always come back to testing us and comparing what we do to all these other institutions. We have a long history in educating students to be teachers. We have even a greater impact in our communities because we've been doing that with that mission of educating students in spirit, mind, and body for leadership and service to others. Our philosophy guides everything we do as teachers, as faculty members, as administrators, and nothing has ever proven that to me more than the last 9 months. You know, our institution has really been focused on taking care of students, taking care of faculty, taking care of our staff, taking care of our community partners like the homeschool, and getting them back on campus with us. You know, we live our mission, and that should be really apparent if you've ever interacted with any of our alumni or our students. And I think while this virtual setting doesn't really allow for that, I hope we get the opportunity to have you come visit and you can see it for yourself firsthand. So thanks, Steve. I really appreciate the opportunity to be here, and well done, Bailey and Kevin.
I know.
Wow. Look at you guys. Woo! Good job.
Thank you, folks.